Good morning. Rise and shine. Gonna give it a couple minutes before we get started. Now, happy Friday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Slither in, slither in. Welcome to the lab. Grab your water, aka Rattle XR drip. And today we are going over a sacred space. Because maybe someone's never heard of what is a sacred space. But as always, take what resonates, shed the rest. I am just talking to myself because I have to learn this too. So, a couple more minutes. Hope everyone is doing amazing. Welcome to the ER Playground. I'm officially giving up caffeine today. So, I have some tea that is waiting for me after we're done chit-chatting. Please read the description. This is not for everyone. Take what resonates before we begin. I just want to give a few minutes, just check in with the Rattle Patch Kids. How are you doing? How's your inner child? Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is my PPE. I'm protecting my nervous system. And just warning, please be kind because this is all reflection. All right. So, I'm gonna give about 15 minutes before we go deep into my channeling because I feel like it's very important for everyone to be seen and heard. And once I start channeling my energy, I can't look at the comments or the chat because it's a distraction. It's almost like driving down the road and a kid runs out in the middle of the screen, middle of the road, and you're like, ah! And so when I look down, I lose my thought process. So please don't take it personally. So welcome. How is everyone doing today? Welcome, welcome. My name is Dr. Rattle. Death of the ego, rebirth of the inner child, and my inner child is Rattlebee, and he just represents the weird bone underneath this meat flesh. Yes. I got my pet right here. His name's Spinal Cord. So I'll put him down. All right. So I'm just going to read a couple things so I can stay grounded. Welcome to the ER Playground. This is a sacred space for movement, mirror work, original sound, inner child healing, and body release. Okay. Here we don't ask permission to express, we don't suppress the body, we move the medicine. Our slogan here is very simple: been bit, get the drip. Hydrate, move, and release. If you've been bitten by stress, judgment, burnout, fear, grief, or life itself, this room is for you. Okay? I am Dr. Rattle. Rattlebee is my inner child superhero. He's right here, witnessing this. Aren't you, buddy? Now, And together we create Rattle XR Drip. Original sound, soul medicine, and movement fuel for the body. Oh, and what goes in here is just water. The same thing that the human body is made up of. 60 to 70% of water, not caffeine, not alcohol, water. Same thing you probably give your animals, water. And that is what activates the inner child. Now, this is not about approval. This is not about perfection. This is about coming back to yourself. Yes, literally water bottles. Absolutely. So take what resonates, shed the rest. And if you vibe with the medicine, subscribe and become a Rattle Patch Kid. Now, I have been trying to organize my life and trying to organize just what we create here. And so I think this is the foundation of what is a sacred space, because maybe you never heard of what is a sacred space. So today, again, I am just talking to myself. And if this aligns with someone, beautiful. So, about 15 minutes, I just want to check in with the Rattle Patch Kids to see how you're doing, seeing how your inner child is doing, and connect. Okay, so thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Sending you love. Now, today we're going to talk about what is a sacred space. A sacred space is not always a church, a studio, or a perfect room. Sometimes it is a mirror, a mountain, a corner of your bedroom, a walk, or 15 minutes where you stop abandoning yourself. Hmm. Now, I'm going to ask myself a question, and you are more than welcome to answer it to yourself. How is my body speaking today? Okay. So I've been really trying to cut back on caffeine. And I didn't really start having this problem until I started drinking caffeine. And I really started drinking caffeine in nursing school. And I've noticed that after nursing school, I would go to spin class and I would just crash. And I would notice my hand would start to shake. And just learning this in nursing school that high blood pressure runs highly for African Americans. And I'm like, "Oh, shoot." And so I don't drink, like, a huge amount of caffeine, but, I have a Celsius here or there. And I've been really just dissecting, okay, how do I feel after I drink this can of Celsius? Or, just Bloom, or I never drunk Red Bull. I'm not a fan of Red Bull or Monster. But I just didn't feel I don't know, I didn't feel good. And I think what really brought me to drink these Celsius was the can and the branding of it all. But then I go back into my and I think, well, I didn't drink Celsius when I was a kid. I didn't need that energy then, so why do I need it now? Again, this is my own personal experience. And then I go deeper about just where are all those cans going? I really want to protect Mother. When I say Mother, I mean planet Earth and the animals, and I'm pretty sure you can just Google it and see what's going on and what's going in the ocean. And what happens, it can hurt, wildlife and etc. And I told myself today, I'm 37 years old right now. How much longer can I keep drinking these cans of caffeine? And I always told myself movement is my medicine and I want to treat my body like a temple. So therefore, I feel like if I'm all about Rattle XR Drip, which is just water, I should be really drinking more of that. And I used to drink a gallon a day, and I just kind of fell off the wagon. But I'm not here to blame or anything like that. I'm here to have compassion for myself. And I'm like, okay, I need to stay consistent. I need to drink a gallon of water a day. I need to Stay away from caffeine. That's why I have my tea. I'm excited to drink that later. And my body is just saying we need to put healthy stuff in our body. And I had this really cool download today, Rattle Patch Kids. I was thinking, if they can make Celsius drinks and liquid death, I mean, I don't know why it's even called liquid death. That doesn't even make sense. Drinking water is not death. It's, if anything, it's activating the nervous system, and there's so many beautiful health benefits to drinking water. And then I said, wouldn't it be cool to have like different flavors of like grape and watermelon and sour apple, and like I was just envisioning me being in a lab and creating these really cool rattle bottles for adults, because why not? And drinking more water, because that is what we are made up of, water. And so I feel like that is what I'm trying to do. I don't know how all that's going to happen, but baby steps. So, anyway, my body is saying, let's take out caffeine. We don't need it. You are more powerful. And if you just Google it, I love Pinterest, but if you go to Pinterest, I'm pretty sure if you type in water benefits, it's going to give you so much more information and so much more benefits than drinking 200 milligrams of caffeine. That's just my personal opinion. And I lost my dad to stage 4 colon cancer. And what I don't understand, if we care so much about cancer, why do we keep creating things that give us cancer? Hmm. So, back to sacred space. What is a sacred space? A sacred space is any place where you can come back to yourself without needing to perform, explain, shrink, or ask permission. It can be a room, a ritual, a mirror, okay? A mountain, a car, a song, a walk, or even 15 minutes with your own breath. Examples for my brothers. A sacred space might be the garage where he works with his hands and finally breathes. The gym where stress gets moved through the body. The truck or car where he sits for 5 minutes before walking into the house. Brothers, is that you? The barber shop where men talk, laugh, release, and feel seen. You're seen here, brothers. The fishing spot where silence becomes medicine. The mirror where he faces himself without armor. Now, this is not armor. This is a reminder that we are bone underneath this skin that we are always judging. And no more of that. Hi, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sending you love. Examples for my beautiful ladies. A sacred space might be the bathroom mirror where she finally gets a moment alone. The bedroom floor where she cries, stretches, prays, or breathes. The kitchen where cooking becomes love, memory, and grounding. The car after work where she sits before becoming everything for everyone else. Ladies, is that you? The journal where truth can land without judgment. Unisex. A sacred space might be nature, a mountain, a park, a trail, a beach, backyard, or open sky. The car where you sit in silence before going inside. How many of us been there? The shower where emotions can move without anyone watching. The bedroom where your breath, stretch, rest, or reset. The gym where the body releases what the world. I'm sorry, let me read that again. The gym where the body releases what words cannot. A walk where your thoughts finally have room. A song where your nervous system remembers it can feel. Yeah. Thank you for the thumbs up. Sending you love. Now, where was I? Oh, a hoodie, a robe, or an outfit where your body feels protected. Just to pause, in healthcare, I don't know if anyone remembers COVID where you had to wear the mask. It was awful. My God. Especially in healthcare because not only we had to wear this really this mask that had like this metal and it would like cut your nose, but you had to wear this gown and you would just sweat bullets. But the whole point of that is so we won't catch a virus. And it's respiratory, so you breathe it in, right? And with that being said, part of death of the ego means I've died already from projection. And learning what I've learned through facilitating is that 99% of projections have nothing to do with us. But we have been conditioned to think, oh, and it's not just this space. When I go onto TikTok and I just kind of slither into other people's lives, it's everywhere, and I'm just like, we don't need to do that here. And it's just a reflection. So, truth be told, they're just talking to themselves. So, we don't need to have any of that in here. So, I'm protecting my nervous system, I'm protecting the rattle patches. So, that is that. This is my PPE. Now, a creative corner where you write, sing, paint, dance, or make sound. That's what we do here. The mirror. Ooh, my favorite one. Where you stop running from yourself. Mm. A boundary. Because sometimes the most sacred space is the word no. And again, this is my own personal opinion, but I feel like venom, and when I say venom, I mean just energy that's not ours to carry, feels so entitled. It's not real, and why this and why that, unless it's something really deep and meaningful, and 99% it isn't. That's just no one's business, and that's okay. Okay, here we go. Your body, because your first home is you. I'll say that again. Your body, because your first home is you. Notice I have a gown on because one, I am a patient of my own medicine, RattleLab drip, and I'm documenting my journey. And I think just like any scientist or doctor, you test, you take notes, you observe, and that's what we're doing here. And so I'm in the lab creating sound, creating rattle suits. See them in the back. And yeah, that's what we do here. Now, inner child, adult self examples for your inner child. A sacred space can be a playground, a blanket, fort, a favorite song, a stuffed animal. Let me go get rattle horns. Rattle, come here. Here he is. Watch this. Yeah, you are, buddy. So this is my little security guy. Cool mask. Thank you, Frank. Now, so I said a stuffed animal, a dance break, a coloring book, a superhero suit. How many of us know? Let me just bring it up. Oops. I have a Spider-Man suit, but I literally don't know where it's at. I hope I didn't leave it in San Francisco. Shit. So yes, Power Rangers. Thank you, Frank. Power Ranger suit. And Tommy was my favorite. Who was your favorite, Frank? Yeah, I'm glad you recognize it. And wouldn't it be cool just to create our own inner child superhero, right? Like, and that's what we do here. We create our own inner child superhero. It can be anything you want to name it, their power. So it's all, I believe it's all internal. And another reason how I know that or feel that way is because for my leadership project, I had to have two people rebirth their inner child superhero. And we had the Cosmo Dancer and The Cosmo Dancer, his power was he can dance through portals and dimensions. And the Rattle Patch Kid said, you know, this was all in me, and it was just beautiful to see him go up to the mirror. And I would ask him, tell me three things that you love about yourself. I mean, when's the last time you heard that, right? I think they must be real with how big the universe is. I think the real question is, have they visited Earth before? You know? Maybe. Maybe. Who knows? Are aliens real? I think aliens are real. I mean, what are we? I mean, we are literally energy in a body, and we are floating in space. If anything, I think we are aliens. All right, let me put this back. But Power Ranger suit, and now we have Rattlebone suit. And the question on the table is, who is your inner child superhero? Now, it would be so cool. Like, let's just play a game. It would be so cool to have. I don't know who designs like the Spider-Man outfits and Batman outfits or the Power Rangers outfits, but it'd be so cool to have a custom-made Rattle suit. Because here's the thing, it's so hot in this thing. And I can't really move like I want to because I feel like I'm gonna rip it. And it's already been ripped. I mean, look, there's a big old hole in the butt. Hold that thought. Okay, oops. Oh, my glasses. Here's another rattle suit, Rattle Patch Kids. And I really like this one. It has like the smiley face, it has flowers on it. It's actually one of my favorites, but I can't move in it because it's really tight. So these are our rattle suits, and this is what Rattleby wears. Part of it is because I think it's cool to have imagination. I mean, think about Mickey Mouse, think about Scooby Doo, Rugrats, Barney, Teletubbies. Imagination runs wild, and I feel like, especially for us adults, the 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds, it's okay to have imagination and let it run wild. And here it's not about being perfect. Why do I state that? Because let's just play a game. I feel like we have to be perfect majority of the time. We gotta be on work on time. We gotta make sure we get the deadline in. We gotta make sure we pack the kids' lunch. We gotta pay the bills, do our taxes. I gotta work on that shit. Do our taxes and just being the best human that we can possibly be. And, you know, driving the speed limit so we don't get, you know, a speeding ticket. So for once, that can be heavy, right? And so for once, it would be nice just to create a space where we can just let it all go. It's not about being perfect. So that's what this space is. You put this back. Did you know that Mickey Mouse was created by an adult, just like you and I? And how many of us have been to Disneyland, took the kids to Disneyland? That's probably a secret space, right? For you and for your children. We put on the Mickey Mouse ears, we don't think twice about it. Imagination, inner child coming out to play, yes. I really love this though, that dish. So, for adult self, a secret space can be a morning routine. Now, how many of us have morning routines? I'm getting there. I used to wake up at 3:45, and I'm trying to get back to that, but I've been so exhausted lately. And I also look at the analytics. I'm like, okay, if my Rattle Patch Kids are in their 30s and 40s at 11, I don't know if they can really fully do like a body movement. And so I'm like, especially my brothers, so I'm like, okay, maybe they'll witness at 4:30 a.m. where they actually have time to just witness Rattle B and vibe with the music. Because let's face it, life happens. So I feel like I need to get back to my 4 a.m. routine. Okay, a quiet cup of coffee. Right now we have tea. I'm not the best tea maker, but it's like vanilla. I put some sugar in it. I think it's called caramel or shit, I don't know what the fuck. Anyway, I'll drink that later. But how many of us need our quiet time in the morning before the world wakes us up? And that's another reason why I really want to move with Rattle B in the morning because my day gets busy. I'm sure your day gets probably busy. So just having that hour of just silence, meaning silence for me is no distraction, just me and the music and the Rattle Patch Kids and my inner child. Now, a prayer corner. Now, I've been not to talk about religion, but I believe something created all of this. But I really have been trying to pray more, like God, Spirit, help me get through this. And so there's that. A workout. How many of us like to work out? So for this is like soul surgery, mind, body, and soul, because we are sweating. We are dripping, and that's part of the drip is the sweat. And that can be anxiety, depression, excess fat on the body, or just fun or joy. Whatever needs to get out the body, that's the sweat. Now, where was I? A clean room. Now, I'm in the process of cleaning and making this more, I don't know, more organized. Let's see here. A walk outside, 15 minutes with your own breath. Now, the ER Playground version. For us, the ER Playground is a sacred space because it gives the inner child, adult self, permission to be witnessed. The mirror becomes altar. Now, ooh, did I read this part? Oh, I did. Now, is it easy showing up, moving my body fluently? But it's my medicine. And I believe there was a time where Juilliard didn't exist and studios didn't exist and social media didn't exist. And I believe that that space is coming back because I can't keep doing the waiting for approval, waiting for permission. So, this space is for us to be wild and free, and it's not about getting it right. It's just about letting the music carry you. Now, and the mirror, it's like, I don't, how can I explain this? It's like when I look into the mirror, when I look into my eyes, it's like I see all these different versions of me, and it's really powerful. So, let's see here. Next page. The music becomes the medicine, the movement becomes the prayer. The body becomes the journal. The reflection becomes the teacher. Powerful line is movement is our medicine. Now, that's all we were going to cover today for a sacred space. And we can go on and on and on, but structure. Now, I think here's Tommy. And you know what's interesting, Rattle Patch Kids? I didn't know that he had a drinking problem. I did more research on him. And I guess for me personally, I never thought these things, meaning, oh, they must have it all. And same thing with Robin Williams. I didn't know that he had a drinking problem. But now this is interesting. When I was in high school, I was, guess, you guessed it, Venom. That's me drunk on my ass, Sorry, who is Rattleby? No need to apologize. Rattleby is my inner child superhero, and he represents that we are bone underneath this meat flesh. And those behind me are his rattle suits. Think of Batman and his Batman suits. Rattleby is my inner child superhero. So, anyways, I was Venom for a Halloween party, drunk as a skunk. And back in the day, I would do like fireball shots. No more. I don't drink anymore. I quit 2021. So anyway, I just think that's very the synchronicities, right? Here we are talking about Venom, and here I was, Venom, and I was just going through so much. My mom just lost custody of us. We just came through how can I say this? My mom was just really going through it. She lost custody of my brothers and sisters, and I have so much trauma in this time because I had to go to court and I had to testify towards my mom's boyfriend, just all the things that he did to me, my mother and I, and my brothers and sister. And that was really challenging. I was so scared. I was so scared to tell the judge what happened because I thought, okay, if the judge doesn't approve this custody, I don't want to go back to the trauma. And then I'm thinking, oh my God, the trauma is going to be 10 times worse if the judge allows us to go back. But I had to stick up for my brothers and my sister. And thank God the judge took my mom's rights away from custody. And I was still just shaken. I just witnessed my mom get the crap beat out of her, and my mom's face wasn't recognizable. And so I just had so much going on in my head at the time. So I was in high school, I was on the track team, I was also this is also pretty cool. I was the mascot, and our mascot was the Liberty Eagles. How ironic. Because here, liberation of our inner child, freedom for our inner child. And my dad's favorite animal was an eagle. And when I think about eagles, I think about freedom, not politics, freedom. Freedom to fly high, low, and here we have freedom to play and to express. So, what a full circle. So, that is what sacred space here means. And next Friday, we're going to be talking about what is embodied expression, but one thing at a time. So, for those who are here, thank you. And I appreciate you. Let me clean up my mess. And here's the closing line. Rattle Patch Kids, thank you for checking in. Take what resonates, shed the rest. If this space makes sense to your spirit, subscribe if you vibe. Are you the ghost or the groom? I'm either. I'm Rattlebones. I'm a skeleton. So, anyway, much love. Take it easy.